Good morning, and welcome to All Faiths Unitarian Congregation. Today we are celebrating Disabilities Pride Month. My name is Greg Monk, and I will be leading our service today. Here you will find a diverse and inclusive spiritual community where we welcome people with many beliefs. You can bring your whole self, your full identity, your questioning mind, and expansive heart. At All Faiths, we have more than one way of experiencing the world and understanding the sacred. No matter who you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, and no matter whom you love, you are truly welcome here. Do we have any visitors for the first or second time today? No one? Okay. All old-timers, well, welcome. We are glad that you are all with us today. If anyone does want to know more about All Faiths, please see Fran Wei after the service in our welcoming corner behind the bifurcated doors or on our website, allfaithsuu.org. A few announcements. There will be a memorial service for Barbara Goolsby Saturday at 11 a.m. There are no meetings here at All Faiths physically Monday through Friday, as a contractor will be here to replace the ceiling in our social hall. Share the Plate this month is for the Rainbow Connections beneficiary of Visuality. You can make your check out to All Faiths and just write Visuality in the lower left corner. And on that, Rainbow Connections will be meeting today after the service. And there are some other events upcoming on page 2 in your order of service, and I believe Joan Marshall had an announcement she wanted to make.
Okay. Yes, you probably, if you have your email on the mailing list for All Faiths, you got an email this week from the Climate Action Team with a special invitation to our meeting, which is going to be held on Wednesday on Zoom. And I wanted to urge you, if it's all possible, to join us for that, because we have a special presentation by the City of Fort Myers Director of Public Affairs. Her name is Liz Bello-Matthews. And she came to our June meeting to meet us and talk about the fact that she has joined the government here in Fort Myers. She comes from the city of Miami Beach, where she was instrumental in putting together a number of different communities to combat their problems there with sea level rise in an effort that they call Resilience 350. So she's very, very knowledgeable about the environmental problems here in Florida, about climate change, and she's going to be talking to us about the plans that they're making in the city of Fort Myers to achieve more resilience. And I know it affects me very directly, even though I don't live in the city, because she also works with Lee County. There'll be a lot of programs that are actually implemented through Lee County. Being a victim of Hurricane Ian, which I know a number of you are, I'm still living in FEMA-provided housing, bless them, and I am so grateful to all the help that is being given, because we're going to need to find ways to recover from that storm that will add to our resiliency. And I think that our guest speaker on Wednesday is going to help us understand some of the things that are being done or planned. So I hope you'll join us. You got a Zoom invitation, but I'll ask Regina to send another one out on Wednesday morning, so it'll be convenient for you if you are able to access Zoom. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Joan. At this point, please rise in body or spirit as we sing together hymn number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song.
Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. And don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
As Michelle Gemma comes forward to light our chalice, please join together in reciting the words, the opening words for the chalice lighting that you'll find on your order of service. As we light this chalice, let us contemplate all the ways that we can appreciate the capabilities and importance of people who have disabilities and commit ourselves to welcoming them in our lives.
I'm lighting this memorial candle in memory of Pat Fish. Pat was one of our founding members, and she had moved away to Rapid City to be close to her family where she was getting care, and we learned recently that she had died earlier this year. So let's have a moment of silence and remembrance and appreciation of Pat and her late husband Lloyd, who contributed so much to the early years here at All Faiths. Now at this time, we share with each other our joys, sorrows, and gratitude. So please come forward if you have something that you'd like to share with your All Faiths family. Welcome back, Bob.
Thanks. A dear friend of mine, Anita, passed away this past Sunday. She's was suffering from pancreatic cancer, and she was a special light in the world. I've known her for 35 years. We worked together, and she is just someone who the world is going to miss. And so I'd like to ask for help in sending her a big blast of light as she goes on in her journey.
And what was her name?
Anita.
We hold Anita in our thoughts and prayers and appreciation for all your years of friendship. Any others? I think Bob's coming forward. It's so good to have you back with us, Bob. He's our regular soloist here, and he was suffering from a respiratory illness for a while. Here's the mic.
Good morning, good morning. I beg the whole lot truth. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning. Here I am with all my friends. Good morning to you. I want to thank you for all the cards and letters and telephone calls and things like that I got. Woke me up every time. I did a lot of sleeping, and in the hospital for a week and 4 weeks with Nurse Cratchit. It, but I'm better. I'm better. Thank you.
We love you, Bob. Now light this candle. He loves to sing, and we love to hear him sing. And here's another one of our soloists who was home with a respiratory illness, and she's back. Are you going to sing too?
No, I didn't prepare anything, but I do want to thank so many of you for all of your support, your cards, and your good wishes. I really, really appreciate it. It makes a big difference when you're housebound, and it's lovely to get all those beautiful healing thoughts. I unfortunately also have a sad news, and that is that this bug that I had is apparently very, very virulent. My daughter is now ill with bronchitis. Hopefully it won't get worse, but she's been having a kind of bad spell, much as I went through before I got better. But so we'll think of my daughter Nina to also send her your good wishes. Thank you.
And we will hold Nina Ramadevi in our thoughts and prayers that she will soon recover. She's a specious lady.
I'm Sharon Gray, and I have a few joys. One was attending GA, and thank you for your help. And catching up with some folks that I hadn't seen in a while. Previous minister for a previous congregation has already transed totally to him. So it was kind of interesting. And after that, there was a note in the newsletter. I didn't get a chance to write anything yet. So next month I had a couple of things to say, but I also had a chance to stop outside of Harrisburg and visit with my adopted Bangladeshi son and his wife Dola, whom I've not seen since I went to their wedding in Bangladesh a couple of years ago. And then finally, Jeff and Eileen outside of Moran, outside of Philly. I saw them, in a beautiful house, watched the deer in their yard, drove through some great hills. It's really pretty up there. Thank you.
Thank you for representing us at GA. We appreciate your leadership. Regina.
Hi, I'm Regina, and I just have a silly joy to share. My cat Mittens died a year and a half ago, so last April I adopted a cat from the shelter, a little tiny gray cat named Gracie. And it was a little heartbreaking because I fell in love with my neighbors, got a little miniature schnauzer, and I fell in love with the little schnauzer. So we'd leave our doors open and the dog would come back and forth between our houses freely. And then when I got Gracie at the shelter, they said, oh, she's better off being in a home without children and without other animals. So I got her. Yesterday, she plowed past me and she ran outside, and her and Dexter got along as if they'd been living with each other forever. So it's not her first dog, and I'm so happy for that.
Pets are so special in our lives. And the end of this month, we're going to hear more about that from Doug Cartwright when he gives a sermon about pets.
I hadn't planned on coming up when Regina came up. Friday was her birthday, so I let her beat me by dominoes by 2 points for her birthday. So that's the birthday present she's getting. So. Did I get it? I didn't get it. Come on. I need practice at this. I don't come up enough. There you go.
And I recommend to Regina that she do what I did on my 80th birthday. I started subtracting the years. So I'm now 76, and I want her to start subtracting so she can be with us forever. I'm lighting this candle for all of you who have joys and sorrows in your hearts. And may you go out this week and visit those who are not able to be with us, And remember to make phone calls and send emails to those that cannot join us here today.
Now I'd like to ask everyone to close your eyes, to take a deep breath, and let us turn our minds and our hearts to today's service and to contemplate our very many blessings. And now, rise, please, in body or spirit, as we sing together hymn number 123, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Our opening words this morning are by Helen Keller. At 19 months of age, Helen Keller developed a febrile illness, possibly bacterial meningitis, that caused her to become both deaf and blind. She said, "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. Your success and happiness lie in you. Resolve to keep happy, and your joy, and you shall form an invincible host against difficulties."
My mama told me when I was young, we're all born superstars. She rolled my head up in the lipstick on, in the glass of her boudoir. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are, she said. God made you perfect, babe. So hold your head up, girl, and you'll go far. Listen to me when I say I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret, self and respect. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. Give yourself prudence and love your friends. Subway kid, rejoice in your truth. In the religion of the insecure, be myself, respect my youth. A different lover is not a sin, believe capital H-I-M. I love my life, I love the record, and amore for ella. I'm beautiful as they are, 'cause God makes no mistakes. The right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret, just love and respect. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't be a drag, don't be a queer, be broke or evergreen. You're black, white, beige, or La Descent. You're Lebanese, you're Orient. Whether life's disabilities left you outcast, bullied, or teased, rejoice and love yourself today, 'cause baby, you were born this way. No matter gay, straight, or bi, lesbian, transgender life, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to survive. No matter black, white, or beige, Shola, or Orient made, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born to be brave. I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Don't hide yourself in regret, just love yourself and you're set. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Baby, I was born this way. Oh, there ain't no other way, baby, I was born this way. Right track, baby, I was born this way. I was born this way, I was born this way. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. I was born this way, hey, I was born this way. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way.
Thank you, Carlos. Our reading is by Christopher Reeve. Most of you know he starred as Superman. Reeve broke his neck when he was thrown from a horse during an equestrian competition. The injury paralyzed him from the shoulders down, and he used a wheelchair and ventilator for the rest of his life. He said, "So many of our dreams at first seem impossible. Then they seem improbable. And then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. A hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles." Now, if everyone would please rise in body or spirit as we sing together out of the Teal Hymnal, hymn number 1053, How Could Anyone?
And the song is quite short, so we'll sing it 3 times.
3 times.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle?
how deeply you're connected to my soul. Again, thank you, Carlos. Love that song. Our guest speaker today is Allison Carville. She has been a Unitarian Universalist since she was 5 years old. She is grateful to have been raised in a faith community that is affirming of her whole self and helps her give the same affirmation to others. She has done work with her congregation with the Welcoming Congregations program and personally with Equal Access, whose mission is to enable the full engagement of people with disabilities in Unitarian Universalist communities and the broader society. As the Welcoming Congregation program says, being welcoming means striving for radical inclusion and creating spaces that honor every part of our identities, backgrounds, and experiences. She hopes to continue to build relationships while doing this work in the world. Please welcome Allie Carville.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Albie. Thank you to everyone that invited me here to speak with you this morning. It is a joy to be with you. My name is Allie Carville. I use white, she, her, disabled, queer, and bisexual as my social identity labels. In my collaboration with Joyce leading up to this service, I discovered we're actually very connected. She told me of her brother-in-law, who was very involved in developing local establishments here in Fort Myers, one of them being the Forest Country Club, where my dad worked as a head waiter when I was a young child. Independence Day has come and gone this year. There are so many ways that pride is expressed on this day. There are American flags everywhere, fireworks. In my neighborhood, there are big trucks and people with big Nerf water spray toys on the back of them exclaiming, "Happy Freedom Day." As I was rolling down the street to the main road where the parade was, I was thinking, I see about 40 people in my immediate sight, and I bet we might have 40 different understandings of what Freedom Day means. Or maybe that's just the Unitarian Universalist in me giving space for that thought. Now, what does it mean to be proud to be something, or proud of something you have done in your life? Again, there may be a bunch of different answers here, but let's start with a general definition from the dictionary and build from there. Pride, a noun, means confidence and self-respect as expressed by members of a group, typically one that has been socially marginalized on the basis of their shared identity, culture, and experience. From a young age, I have pretty much always had an outgoing personality. Just ask my family and friends here today. With the help of my parents and family, I found communities where I could share my energy and develop my socialization. I was in theater and challenger baseball, which is the same as Little League for anyone with any disability, and love them both equally. In school, I was in mainstream education and then rode the accessible bus. My family also did medical foster care from when I was about 5 years old to just before my brother was born. These experiences gave me the wisdom to just love the people as they are in front of me, just as my family has done for me. I was proud to be part of all of these groups and activities. When I was in school, I found myself liking all of the mainstream things, like listening to the Backstreet Boys music group, and then with the theater side of me, watching the Tonys performances and anything Broadway related on PBS. I started mimicking all of the upper body choreography that they did, like arm movements left to right, up, down, those kinds of things. Pretty much move for move. I did this on the bus, where I might have been the only student who could verbally communicate. But when the Backstreet Boys songs came on, and I mimicked their choreography, I saw the joy in their faces, and we all had fun while those songs were playing. In the words of the musical Hamilton, I wanted to be, quote, in the room where it happened. I wanted to know how much of a say that they had, the Backstreet Boys, and how much they might have been thinking of someone like me. I saw kids like myself in some of their fan appreciation videos throughout my childhood and as I was growing up. Though when I was in community theater for the first time, around 8 years old, one director who was writing the play we were going to perform wrote a, quote, special part for me. An elderly woman who was remembering her past as an actress who used a wheelchair. As I was playing this character, this meant I didn't have to dance in most of the company numbers, except in one where I changed into a gorilla costume with full mask with only holes for my eyes to somewhat see out of, to be in the song Monster Mash, which symbolized the director in the plays. So it was a play about a play kind of thing. His nightmares about filming a movie at my character's, Elizabeth Pennington's, apparent haunted mansion. Between numbers, when I was off stage waiting for my next cue, I found myself wanting to stick my tongue out when the director and choreographer said I couldn't do something, quote, the way she had envisioned it. Well, I just saw way too many instances where all the people who had all the physical mobility in the world, aka the Backstreet Boys, had choreography that chose to be seated from a chair or chose to only use their upper body extremities for rhythmic movement. As a kid, cue blowing a raspberry, sticking your tongue out. Fast forward, in 2013, while attending Florida Gulf Coast University, I had the opportunity to attend an LGBTQ and ally student conference in Michigan. This was my first major travel experience without my family. And it was in February, in Michigan. At one point, as we're waiting for the bus to go from Detroit to Lansing, I texted my mom, "It's cold and I have snow on my lips and it feels like a sunburn." She texted me something to the effect of, "Ouch, you've got windburn," and what to do to take care of that. I remember when we got settled in our hotel room, I was hungry, so I asked my then girlfriend if she wanted anything. She said no, so I asked if she would be okay while I went to Jimmy John's to get a sub, just around the corner across the street. So I went down the elevator, hit the crosswalk button, and then saw a door push button that makes the door open at the business entrance. Did I just enter some kind of accessibility heaven where I could do all of this on my own? I want every street and block to be modeled after that place in Lansing, Michigan. Please and thank you very much. While at the conference, many of us from FGCU were probably engaged in activities and going to presentations that we could bring some kind of positive impact back to Southwest Florida, which is and was a world of difference. But the one that has stuck with me the most was one of the keynote speakers, LZ Granderson. LZ was a CNN and ESPN contributing sports journalist. He is an out gay man. He spoke about the absurdity of what people think the, quote, gay lifestyle is, and then described this lifestyle and more ways to continue advocacy for equal rights. He was expanding on his TED Talk at Grand Rapids, aptly titled The Gay Agenda. In this speech, he spoke about Matthew Broderick in Torch Song Trilogy, a movie based on a play about a drag queen looking for love and respect, finding your place in the world. Arnold, a main character, says to his mom in the movie, quote, "There's nothing I need from anyone except for love and respect, and anyone who can't give me those two things has no place in my life," end quote. LZ then tells what the gay agenda is. In his humorous words, he says, "Run for your heterosexual lives." Much like LZ, my queer and disabled agenda involves drinking coffee in the morning, cleaning the house in various ways, and spending time at the dinner table with my family. LZ says, "Here's the real gay agenda," and points to a picture of the Constitution. Specifically, Amendment 14, passed by Congress on June 13, 1866, ratified on July 9, 1868. Quote, "No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the law," end quote. LZ commends then President Obama on marriage equality for same-sex couples. He continues on to talk about anti-LGBTQ laws at the time, many of which we are still trying to change today. We're still working on this intersectionality and equity thing in this country. In case you have not heard the term intersectionality, it was coined by Black scholar Kimberly Crenshaw, and it states that all oppression is linked. After LZ's speech, I summoned the courage to roll up and ask a question. This about 6-foot-tall gay black man saw me at the microphone that someone else had taken down from the stand for me, saw me, paused, and sat down on the about 6-foot high stage to make better eye contact with me. I asked a question about having an identity in multiple communities, such as disability and sexuality and gender identity, but not seeing anyone online with the Venn diagram overlap of the two. He said, "How do you best express yourself every day? How can you share your authentic self with the world? Sometimes, but not always, if you start the conversation, others will listen and join you." Was it really that simple? Recently, LZ has left ESPN, claiming he was only in a tolerating culture. I strongly agree with this statement he made. When you're the only one, people like to believe that diversity has been achieved. I'm used to being the only one who's either LGBTQ or physically disabled. And I'm also used to being in environments where I might have more of a voice than others to be heard, so I speak up. As you've probably mentioned or acknowledged, June is National Pride Month, and there are rainbows everywhere. Do you know what the symbolism means for each part of the rainbow, each stripe? How do you practice, and how can we all practice being a welcoming congregation beyond saying things like, "Love is love"? How can we be a sanctuary to and for one another? How can we support each other in the face of our government's aims to dehumanize and take away our rights instead of upholding them? Before today, how many of us knew that July is Disability Pride Month with the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act signed in 1990 by President George H.W. Bush? Do you know how this legislation came into existence? When it comes to civil rights legislation, many people rightly acknowledge sex, gender, class, sexuality, and race. But with disability and accessibility legislation, silence or close to it. As many would say about the original story of Juneteenth, why didn't I learn about this history in disability rights in school? This general silence is systemic ableism at work. Reverend Julian Jamaica Ninan Soto, who is a disabled UU minister, on an episode of The View, VUU, states this. Ableism asks, "Is everybody a good body?" Others ask, Why are you making such a big deal out of this? If I may lift up Albie's words from a past sermon, she said resistance is another form of oppression. Many times when we're pushing for equity, an oppressed person or group might face resistance to an issue. For me, this might mean baseline accessibility, like we have a ramp, and I am very appreciative of the ramp to access the chancel this morning. Other places might have aisles that are just barely wide enough, or seeking symbolism to only represent a small portion of a community, like a physical disability or those who use a wheelchair, representing the entirety of everyone who has any kind of disability. Annie Segarra, a queer, Latinx, and disabled young adult woman, says Pride events are often not accessible and excludes our disabled siblings. Whether it's a step at the entrance, staircases, no sign language interpreters, no allergy-friendly food options, or a bouncer, not allowing someone with a service dog inside because they ask for documentation that doesn't exist, the ignorance and discrimination is unacceptable. It takes the work to unlearn ableism and misconceptions about disability. It takes effort and care to make our spaces accessible. Pride is for all of us, not some of us. So I ask you, how can you show up, navigate with us? How can you help reduce the real and life-threatening harm from systems of power? In making final touches to this message, I watched your live stream service last week. I really appreciate the original words for the chalice lighting. As we light the chalice, let us contemplate all the freedoms that we have and how those freedoms require us to take responsibility for our lives and lives of others. I respect you have slightly altered the words for disability pride and ask in the future how we might center justice work. It's one thing to put marginalized individuals and groups in front and say, you're special, and it's one thing to be more inclusive, to help build environments that are equitable from the start, asking us what we need and what we want, and working alongside us in the work so that we are included in an equitable manner. The disability pride movement very much aligns with one of our principles, especially the fifth principle. In the disability community, we say nothing about us without us. In the fifth principle of Unitarian Universalism is roughly the development of each conscience, and in the words of Theodore Parker, not I am as good as you are, but you are as good as I am. These words remind me of something that happened in my congregation just off Daniels Parkway. In 1997, we were just in the works of what became Miller Sanctuary. Before having that building, we held services in our social hall, and in the flip of the moment, we turned it into our worship space. One member, Ed Porteous, was on the team that was overseeing the new buildings project. My mom, being my mom in the best way, came up to him after our community dinner when he said he would be open to feedback about the project. She asked if the chancel would be accessible to wheelchair users. Mom tells me he opened the construction paper and without a word pointed to the part of the paper where there was a ramp that would give anyone access to the chancel. When I've gone to different Lee Interfaith for Empowerment events at other places of worship, my friends pointed out things that they've noticed because they've listened to my experiences. A simple action like leaning over and whispering to me that they noticed that I would not be able to lead worship there, like I do lead at my church. I appreciate these actions that they've taken upon themselves, so it's not always on me, the impacted person. It's one thing for me or any affected person to consistently find the courage to speak up about something. This is good to have an environment where people feel free to safe to do so, absolutely. It's another level of compassion and community for others who may not be directly impacted to help lift up our voices to create a more equitable situation. Not speaking for us, but helping lift up what we ask. Alex Klingenberg, a queer polyamorous Unitarian Universalist minister and poet, says, quote, "It's funny how being seen changes everything about what you want to show." End quote. Today's service is entitled, "We Are Each Other's Keepers." I looked up the original story in the Bible of Cain and Abel, sons of Adam and Eve. Briefly, this story goes, Cain misses the mark of being in communion with God through having a loving and humble heart for his brother Abel's welfare. This idea contrasts with the root word of religion, religare, to bind and connect. I've always tried to find within my faith, my lived experiences as a disabled queer woman, to find ways to bind and connect myself and others. The whole idea that we are all part of beloved community. In the Bible, Galatians chapter 6, verses 1 and 2, quote, "If anyone is caught in any transgression, you who are spiritual should restore him in a spirit of gentleness. Keep watch on yourself, lest you too be tempted. Bear one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ." It takes acknowledging our privilege to choose to be in right relationship with those who are marginalized. This is an act of faith and solidarity each one of us can take, including myself. I still have privilege within my race and the fact that I have a physical disability that people can see. Allies, please use your voice and your systemic privilege to help check the fear of others to reduce harm to marginalized people, and show up and open the circle to include everyone in everything you do in beloved community, in and beyond these walls. In closing, I offer these words by Cheryl M. Walker, quote, "Accountability is a blessing. It invites us to be better people than we were. It may not be easy when we are being called into account, but if we practice, it gets easier. If the task of being in religious community is to learn to be the best selves we can, then accountability should be a part of our spiritual practice. May it be so, and thank you."
Thank you, Allie. I guess it's my turn again. Oftentimes, prior to our offering, we tell a bit of funny because we believe that laughter makes us generous, and I wasn't really prepared to do that this morning. However, I had an odd thought late last night that made me giggle, and perhaps it will do the same for you, and I hope it's, forgive me if it's not in the perfect taste, or topic germane. But a friend of mine recently, who is married, and him and his wife talked, and they decided they did not want to have children, had the procedure to prevent that from happening. And I understand now that when you go to certain locations, if you have that procedure and have no children already, they make you take a sort of mental health test before presenting you giving you that operation. And the thought struck me late at night, what happens if you fail that test? I'm sorry, sir, you're not mentally healthy, so therefore you're going to have to reproduce. It would go a long way to explaining certain segments of our population. So, enough said. We appreciate your generous donations, which support our dedicated staff, beautiful facilities, inspiring services, interesting activities, and social outreach at All Faiths. If you are with us on live stream service, you can mail checks or visit our website to make a contribution at allfaithsuu.org. Our morning offering will now be taken.
Don't go changing to try and please me. You never let me down before. Don't imagine You're too familiar, and I don't see you anymore. I would not leave you in times of trouble. We never would have come this far. I took the good times, I take the bad times, I take you just the way you are. Don't go trying some new fashion. Don't change the color of your hair. Ooh, you always have my unspoken passion. Although I might not seem to care, I don't want clever conversation. I never want to work that hard. I just want someone that I could talk to. I want you just the way you are. I need to know that you will always be the same old someone that I knew. Oh, what will it take till you believe in me the way that I believe in you? I said I love you, that's forever. And this I promise from the heart. I could not love you any better. I love you just the way you are. I don't want clever conversation. I never want to work that hard. I just want someone that I could talk to. I want you just the way you are.
Our closing words are a quote from another famous person, Stephen Hawking, who was a world-famous theoretical physicist and cosmologist. He developed motor neuron disease when he was in his early 20s. Most patients with this condition die within 5 years, and according to the Motor Neuron Disease Association, average life expectancy after diagnosis is about 14 months. He lived 76 years. He said, "My advice to other disabled people would be, concentrate on things your disability doesn't prevent you doing well, and don't regret the things it interferes with. Don't be disabled in spirit as well as physically."
She just wants to be beautiful. She goes unnoticed. She knows no limits. She craves attention. She praises an image she pays to be sculpted by the sculptor. Oh, she don't see the light that's shining deeper than the eyes can find it. Maybe we have to make her blind, so she tries to cover up her pain and cut her woes away. 'Cause cover girls don't cry after their face is made. But there's hope, there's waiting for you in the dark. You know you're beautiful just the way you are. And you don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No stars, you're beautiful, we're stars, we're beautiful. Oh, 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 oh. You don't have to change a thing, the world should change its heart. No scars to your beautiful, we're stars, we're beautiful. She has dreams to be and envy, so she starving, you know. Cover girls eat nothing, she says. Beauty's in the pain, there's beauty in everything. What's a little bit of hunger? I can go a little while longer. She fades away. She don't see her perfect, she don't understand she's worth it, or that beauty goes deeper than the surface. Oh, oh. So to all the girls that's hurting, let me be your mirror, help you see a little clearer the light that shines within. There is hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You know you're beautiful just the way you are. You don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars to your beautiful, we're stars to your beautiful. Oh, 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 oh. You don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars to your beautiful, we're stars, we're beautiful. Oh, 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 oh. You don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No tears to your beautiful, we're beautiful. No better than you are. No better life than the life we're living. No better time for your shine to your star. Stars, you're beautiful because you're beautiful. Oh, oh, oh. You don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No stars, you're beautiful. We're stars, we're beautiful. You don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars to you're beautiful. We're stars, we're beautiful.
We'd like to thank Allie Carville again for her enlightening message. Thank you. We'd also like to thank Carlos Garcia for the music, Sharon Gray on camera, Ed Elrod on sound, Joe Gayton, our sexton, Joyce Schaefer for the flowers, Nicole Racine and Frank Geltner for our hospitality and our friendly greeters. It is good to be connected in any way that we can. As Michelle comes forward to extinguish our chalice, please recite the words you'll find again in our order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. Please join us for coffee, cookies, and conversation in the social hall. Thank you.